Lucy? 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 Lucy sits? Lucy? Lucy? So I'm in Mexico City. Don't have Lucy with me. It's just not the same going for these walks without my dogs, and especially Lucy's my favorite. I'm in a park that appears to be a dog walking park though. So I don't know if that makes me more happy or more sad because my dogs aren't here. Actually, it makes me a little happy. At least I can see other dogs. I just love dogs. I think they're awesome. So yeah, I'm on my day one of my trip. So far going absolutely perfect. Actually, I don't want to do this. That's the 666 sign. Someone's actually going to probably screen grab that. You gotta be careful what hand signs you do. People will think you're Illuminati and stuff. But it's going absolutely perfect. And so many cute dogs here. So I got in yesterday. Went pretty much directly to interview with Max Kaiser and Stacy Herbert, or Herbert, however you pronounce it. Actually right here in this park is where we did the interview. And we just did a walk around the park sort of interview, and all went good. And I went out actually for dinner last night with Max and Stacy, and I had a salad and some sort of fruit juice. So sticking to my diet, sticking to my walks, feeling great. Went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night, so that's good. But I wanted to talk today a little bit about what I kind of realized this morning. I woke up this morning, just sort of like this, all these epiphanies I keep having lately, and you know, one of them is just life's way better without drinking. I'll get into that maybe in this video or maybe another time, but it's like I just sort of realized like I wasted so much time drinking and I shouldn't have. Anyway, that's the past. It's over. It's so much better without it. But what I realized this morning was I'm like kind of living the dream a little bit. I woke up this morning, I checked Steemit. My post yesterday on the Dollar Vigilante on Steemit made over $2,000. It was actually 1,200 Steam dollars, which is about 2,000 US dollars. And then even my personal post yesterday made 200 Steam dollars, which is about 350. So almost $2,500 I made on Steemit yesterday. And it just kind of made me realize, it's like, wait a sec, I'm making money from just doing what I love, talking about my passion, talking about anarchy, anarchism, freedom, helping to unenslave the world, and getting paid for it in so many different ways now. And it was just kind of like funny for me to think, like, if you would have said to me 10 years ago, so if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll make a very good living, and some of the ways you'll make living is from cryptocurrencies. Just when you write, you'll make thousands of dollars a day sometimes just for writing what you write. And if you said that to me 10 years ago, I'd go, well, what's a cryptocurrency? Because that didn't even exist then. So that's one of the cool parts about this, is the fact that I can just sort of do what I normally do and make money from things that no one would even imagine you could even make money from in the past. Now, I don't know how long Steam's gonna last. It could last for a long time, which would be amazing. If it doesn't though, it's started a trend towards some new paradigms in how we can actually do content on the internet. And you know, it's really like, I try to post stuff on Facebook now for Steemit, and it almost all the time now says it's spam, and it won't let me. It won't even, it says it's spam and asks me if it's spam. I say no, Facebook, FBI book, it's not spam, and then it still won't let me post it. So I think even Facebook possibly is already realizing Steemit could be a threat to their business model, which is great. Going for walks here isn't quite the same. There's no hills. It's so flat. So I'm not really ever going to get much exercise just walking. But at least I'm moving my body. I'm going to hit the gym after this. Oh, there's like a whole dog little play area here. That's cool. Mexico City, very dangerous. If you've seen it on the news or watched any movies like Denzel Washington's movie, this place is nuts. It's, whew, super scary. Yeah, these dog parks. Yeah, it's bad here. You know, don't recommend anyone come to Mexico. Very dangerous. You can tell, yes, there's no police anywhere. Oh my gosh. No wonder Americans are scared here. There's no government bureaucrat who says they're going to protect me, but they won't, and they'll probably actually end up killing me. No, they don't really have many of those here. People don't really want them. So that's why they want to make Mexico look dangerous. Anyway, a little off topic, but yeah, so I was thinking this morning, like, I'm kind of like living the dream. Like, it's a dream that I could have only just dreamt of 10 years ago. If you would have said 10 years ago, you're going to start talking about anarchist stuff, which no one knows anything about. This is 10 years ago, right? So 2007. Hardly anyone even knew what the word anarchy meant. Libertarianism was barely even known as a word, and now it's so well known by most people, not everyone, but most people. If you said to me, yeah, you'd be doing this anarchist stuff, you'd be doing like your newsletter, you're going to start a newsletter that's going to be based on Austrian economics, which no one in 2007 knew anything about. You're going to talk a lot of anti-government stuff, a lot of anarchist stuff, which no one knew anything about that kind of stuff 10 years ago. And you're going to get paid a lot of time in cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. But your newsletter is going to do really well, which it is, by the way. We've just been killing it. I just got called by Press TV this morning. They want to do an interview with me. That's the Iranian propaganda news, and which is way better than the U.S. propaganda news as far as U.S. issues go. So I'm just blowing up right now. It's great. But I was like, man, if you told me 10 years ago all this stuff would happen, I don't think I would have believed you. And now it's just happening. And if you said, yeah, you're going to start a conference, it's just going to be an anarchist conference. Like, there was no such thing 10 years ago. No one even thought about doing stuff like that much. And definitely not 20 years ago, but 10 years ago even. And now in Acapulco, the biggest anarchist conference in the world, over 500 people this year. Definitely expecting more than, I would say 700 to 1,000 next year, 2018. Just by the looks of it already. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's who came said they're coming back, which is great. Thank you so much. If I don't say thank you enough, I apologize to all the people who have supported me, all the people who've helped me, all the people who just been a part of the things that I'm doing in Acapulco and things like that. Sometimes I just I'm going so much and just go, and I forget to kind of sit back a little bit and sort of have more gratitude and say thank you more. But it doesn't mean I don't have it. I actually do. I definitely do. I just sometimes I forget in my running around to be more openly grateful for everything I have. And by the way, the things that I have aren't anything material. What I have is a life where I can travel the world, do quite well monetarily, so I can make sure my family has a nice place to live and stuff like that, which is nice. And just do the things I love. That's basically what I have. It's not about money necessarily, but it is nice to have some of those things. It is nice, wake up and see I made $2,000 yesterday on Steam. It's pretty nice. It's like, well, I could invest that in gold or Bitcoin or just keep it in Steam. That's what I'm thinking about doing, actually, because I actually sold a lot of my Steam kind of stupidly at levels less than it's at right now. I sold a lot of it between $1 and $2 because I thought it was going to come down and I was going to buy a lot more back, but it never did. So now that I'm making more Steam, I think I'll just start hoarding it again, but we'll see. Depends on the markets. But my point is, it's like all this stuff I'm doing, I remember when I said to my partner at the Dollar Vigilante at Bugos, when I was thinking about starting in 2009, he said, yeah, but you can't say this is an anarchist or a narco-capitalist newsletter. You cannot do that. And I said, why not? He's like, well, because most people think that's horrible, that's crazy, that's, you know, we're bomb throwers and all that kind of stuff. I was like, well, we're just gonna have to change that. And so he warned me not to do it, and I did it. And we've from the beginning, we've been known as a anarcho-capitalist newsletter with our economics based in Austrian economics. And that's been one of the biggest sort of boons for us, like, because no one back then when we were saying this stuff was saying any of that stuff. All of our so-called competitors in the financial newsletter sort of space were very, well, we can't say that, we better be careful, we can't say we don't support the troops. Oh really? Yeah, well, I'm gonna just say it. And it's turned out quite well, right? So that's what I was saying. It kind of feels like living the dream here at the moment a little bit. And now that I've kind of gotten into my health and mental and physical and spiritual health, it's like the whole world just seems different. It seems like exciting again. It seems like I want to get out of bed and go do stuff. Not necessarily tons of stuff, but just, you know, go do the things I love. So yeah, we'll see how this trip goes. I'm just on day one right now. I'm leaving today to Montana to speak at G. Edward Griffin's Red Pill Expo. And how's that for another sort of dreams coming true sort of a thing? G. Edward Griffin is the person, his book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, was the book that made me start thinking about everything I'm doing today. So I had just sold my internet company in 2002, for like, I think the total we sold it for was like $2 million, maybe $3 million, and it wasn't all mine. But 2 years earlier, it was worth $240 million. We were just about to go public on the NASDAQ, and we didn't because the tech bubble collapsed. So I was sitting there, we just sold the company, and I was a little bit like left rudderless, like, because I'd spent 8 years straight of 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, or at least 16, working on that company, and grew it from nothing to 250 employees in 8 countries, $240 million US market cap. And then boom, it just disappeared all overnight. Had to lay off everyone, which was super hard. So I was just sort of like sitting there like, what do I do now? And I remember I was sitting on my balcony and I actually cracked a beer. I was like, is this what I'm supposed to do now? Sit on my balcony and drink beer? I didn't even know what I was supposed to do at that point. That's how I was just like, because that was the only thing I knew for most of my adult life was my company. And but I had enough money to do a few things, so I bought a sailboat and I decided, okay, I'm going to try to sail around the world and see what's really going on in this world. And I'm going to try not to really do much for at least a year or two because I need to really recuperate from all that. I ended up not really doing much for like 7 years until I started the Dollar Vigilante. But my point is, after my company collapsed, my partner, who had actually tried to commit suicide by jumping out of his 8th story of his apartment in Vancouver right after the bubble collapsed, he survived. They like screwed all his bones back together. Hello. He wants to get a play ball. All right. There you go. He's like a self-playing dog. Oh, it's Tito. It's Cheeto. He's like, yeah, I want to play. Let's play some ball. That's so cute. Mexico City, yeah, very dangerous. So anyway, my point is that I know your owner. He still wants to play with me. Okay, I don't miss my dogs as much now. Actually, maybe now I miss them even more. Whatever. So I'm sitting there, and my partner actually, with his crutches and everything, came over and he gave me this book, The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. And it's like this big. I was like, what's this? And he's like, just read it. And I was like, all right. And I did. I forget how long I read it in, but I read it. And by the end of it, I was like, why didn't anyone tell me this is how it all works, the central banking? So And I was like, whoa, why is this information not known by anyone? And that's the first thing that made me start to look into everything. And then, of course, I looked into Austrian economics, I looked into libertarianism, anarchism, all those sort of philosophies, and just started digging. And the more I dug, the more I'm like, there's a lot of stuff hidden, a lot of information hidden from us that they don't want us to know. And then that just led me down more rabbit holes, 9/11, blah, 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 moon landing, blah. He's just like, everything's a lie. We're living in the frickin' Matrix. So, but it all started with the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. So where am I going today? I'm going to Montana to speak at G. Edward Griffin's Red Pill Expo. And a lot of the stuff I'm going to be speaking about is actually central banks and stuff like that, which is, he actually taught me about that stuff. So again, this sort of feeling of kind of living the dream a little bit. Like all this stuff is just really happening. And so yeah, I'm actually have to do a press TV interview in my room right now. Then there's no gym in my hotel, but they gave me a pass to a real gym, which is kind of cool because I wouldn't mind going to a real gym. I haven't been in a real gym in a while. So I get a really good workout this morning. Then I'll probably, should I do coffee enema first or after? We'll see. I don't know which order I'm going to do everything in, but I'll do that and some meditation. And then I have to write some stuff. And then I'm going, there's a great vegan restaurant here called Forever Vegan. Oh man, I had the most delicious hummus and barbecued vegan hamburger, which was delicious, absolutely delicious. And it was all like really really good ingredients. Even the lemonade they had was amazing. So I'm gonna go there for lunch, and then my flight's at 3 o'clock. So yeah, in the old days I would have gone out all night last night and I would have still been in bed and I'd be groaning in bed right now. So this is way better. Hopefully I can keep this up. I have 2 days in Montana. I'm gonna try to keep this up there, and if I can, then I'm definitely gonna go to Vegas and play in the World Series of Poker, because what I've noticed is with my all my health stuff I've been doing, and it's really getting me, it's raising my vibrational level, definitely. And as it's doing that, I'm becoming more what I feel like is aware, more conscious of things that I didn't used to be conscious of. And I'm very clear-headed, like I haven't been in a long time, if you know, ever almost, or at least 20 years. So, and I'm a big fan of poker because it's a game of skill, and if you're really good, you can win at that game. And I played in the World Series of Poker before, and but I want to go and try and play the way I am now, because most of my game is reading people. That's really most of it. Like when I play internet poker, it's just to get better technically, to learn more about, you know, how I should be playing and all that kind of stuff, learn more about what everyone else is doing. It's more of a learning thing, but I don't really make it a lot online because my whole game is reading people. When I play live poker, I can freak people out sometimes, and this is before I raise my conscious level. I've made people cry at poker tables. I didn't want to make them cry, but they've just cried. They're like, "How do you know?" I'm like, it's just obvious to me what's going through your head. But I've made people want to fight me. I actually had the mafia, the Russian mafia in Prague. I was just taking all their, I actually had to let them win so many hands just so they wouldn't beat me up. I still took most of their money, but I'd let them win some hands, even though I could totally read exactly what they were doing every single time. So anyway, so if I can keep on my thing here in Montana for the next couple of days, then I'm going to go to Vegas and play World Series. It's the big one, not the big one, but the most famous one is the $10,000 tournament. That doesn't start for like over a week. So unless I get into like a super roll and I'm just crushing it playing poker and feeling like I need to stay there for the main event, I will. If not, I'll just play a couple tournaments. There's a $1,500 Monster Stack tournament starts on Sunday. I think I'll play that, and then a few other ones. Like I said, if it goes really well, I might stick around. I might even try to find a way to fly up Lucy. Oh, so cute. Because I can't be away from her for more than a week, and she actually she'll stop eating and everything, so it's not just me that feels sad, like she feels even sadder, which makes me feel even sadder. Like we're so connected. Like she's of all 5 dogs, she's mine. We spend 24 hours a day together. She's never not beside me, unless someone's eating something in the kitchen, she'll go see what's going on. But as soon as that's over, she's right back, right beside me. And but we'll see. I'm feeling good though. And like I said, just sort of kind of living the dream at the moment. It's kind of pretty cool. Kind of excited to see where all this stuff's gonna go, because this stuff is all still growing. We haven't even started yet. Cryptocurrency revolution. People are waking up to the evils of government, central banking. Let's keep pushing that. Who knows where it could all lead, but like I said, it just kind of feels like I'm just in a really good space right now. Just for whatever reason. And maybe I had to go through all those struggles to get to this place, right? This is always the question that a lot of people wonder. And a lot of people always say that. They say everything in life's for a reason. And a lot of people say bullshit. But I think it really is. I think everything's for a reason. I think we don't really find out what the reason is until after the game's over, whatever this game is. The True Man Show. So yeah, even the bad times can be looked at as good, because that will make you have to learn something. And if you don't learn, that's the thing that a lot of people will do. They won't learn from those bad times, and then they'll just constantly live in sort of their own version of hell constantly. Whereas if you just learn from it and grow. Oh, and that's the other thing I was going to mention was, a lot of people might say, oh yeah, Jeff, well, you're a really good talker, you're pretty decent looking, you're a white man, you're a white male, you got the privilege. So yeah, but here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. When I was like 15 years old, I was so shy I couldn't talk. It took me decades to get to this point where I can talk how I talk now. And I can talk so easily on media or conferences or whatever. But that was not something that was just granted. That was a lot of hard work. You might say, oh, you're a pretty decent looking guy. Well, I've also spent a lot of my life working on all my sort of physical related things. And that includes even things like clothing and stuff like that. Like, I always try to find someone who puts me in decent clothes. This is stuff that everyone can be doing, right? My point is, I'm not that special. Anyone can do a lot of the things that they want to do, just like I am. But you have to just continue to build yourself up. There hasn't really been a day in my life that I could think of where I wasn't trying to grow in some way, where I wasn't trying to learn something. It's just something I've just always, it's just why wouldn't you want to do that? So many dogs. So cute. So many big ones. But yeah, and even a lot of people say, oh, you're really smart how you're talking and all this stuff about these things. Like, yeah, well, I've spent 12 hours a day for like a decade learning all this stuff, watching podcasts, reading books, reading everything I can on every topic. So it's not like I just woke up one day and I was just doing all this stuff. This stuff has come over progression from just building up. And continuing to learn, continuing to strive to be better. And that's something that everyone can do. Absolutely. I remember when I was 20 years old, I was on unemployment insurance. And I was getting 600 Canadian dollars a month, which is about, at the time, was about 400 US. And I was living in my grandparents' basement. And I was just playing video games and eating pizza every day. And I think if those checks kept coming forever, I'm not sure I ever would have left that basement. I might still be there, right? That's why welfare is so dangerous. But when those checks stopped, all of a sudden I was like, I gotta do something. There's things I want, and some of them are girls, and they seem to like guys who have at least a couple bucks. So I better get out there and do something. And oh man, I can't even talk, so shy. I better do something to get over that. And I did, and yeah, just constant working on yourself. So that's what, you know, if one of your thoughts is, well, Jeff, you're special, you know, no wonder you could do this because you've got all these sort of talents or skills or gifts or the luck of being a white male. But, no, anyone can do it. Anyone can do this stuff. Anyone can do anything. But it's not easy. It's never easy. But it is, I think, in the end, worth it. Lucy? Lucy! Lucy! Lucy sits.